thank you for watching and being open to understanding more about what can possibly happen when you are injecting Botox. And this is the second video in a series that I am feeling called to do and share this information. And there's a few reasons why I feel like this is really important. First of all, this information is not something that you can find very easily. There are, in fact, people that are never given the full details that are using Botox from their doctors, or they are just bypassing and accepting that because so many people are doing it, that we rationalize that it must be safe or that there's no real potential harm. So this video today is going to illuminate for you 3 different things to know before you inject, or possibly even about Botox if you're already using it. So this is in no way meant to make anyone feel bad or to throw shade or shame at anyone. I just feel that this information and this awareness could possibly help somebody. So thank you for being here and for being present with the information that I'm going to share. So want to just start with the first thing, and that is that Botox is a drug that has a black box warning. And this is something that was mandated back in 2009 by the FDA after people were having life-threatening side effects and potential death from using Botox, or there's Dysport too, are off-brand usages for Botox. So they were mandated that they have to include this black box label. But that does not necessarily mean that when you go to get Botox, you're going to be given that information. Botox is given to the injector, and that shipment has the black box label, but you as a consumer are not necessarily going to be seeing that. So that's the first thing. Now, most doctors and injectors are going to have some sort of waiver that you're going to sign, and there is a large variance in terms of what information is going to be on that waiver. Whether you're going to get a real good picture of the potential, or you may in some cases, you may not. So just that's something to be aware of. And when we sign off on these waivers, are we really reading and digesting? I mean, you're already in the doctor's office, you're ready to go, you're somewhat invested or attached to getting this outcome. It's very unlikely that at that point even you're going to say, wait, hold on, I didn't know this. So again, when I shared with you in the first video about my experience with Botox illness, I totally checked my head and did not do any research and did not understand what I was going to be doing, or what the potential side effects were going to be of injecting. So I just want to put that out there, that the black box warning is there. It is a precaution, but that the end user, the consumer of the actual Botox, is not oftentimes not going to see that unless they seek it out intentionally. So what happens, or why that specifically was instituted, is that there are potential life-threatening side effects that may occur when the toxin spreads from the injection site. So depending on where you are getting Botox in your body, there is the potential of the poison, the toxin, to move beyond that area, that localized area, and actually be assimilated into your bloodstream and move throughout your body. So the other thing about a black box warning that I would just say is that it is the most serious warning that the FDA gives and issues because there are potential dangerous side effects. The specific ones with Botox, I believe that the reason that it is there, although I'm going to tell you in point 2 what potential side effects may be experienced, are trouble breathing and swallowing. That would be why that black box label was, instituted. And you, again, may or may not be fully informed. So that's the first point. Know that there is a black box label on Botox. The second point is that, and this is something that can happen literally the very first time you get Botox, you may experience side effects. So I want to talk about what those side effects and what those symptoms are, because in my experience and in what I'm learning from talking to other people and researching this is that oftentimes you are not going to be clear if what you're experiencing is a direct result of your Botox injections, because there are so many different symptoms that can occur, and of course other things may be at play, right? Certainly not going to happen to everyone every time, and hopefully this information is just information and you have not experienced this, or you're not going to have any issue. However, the spread from the injection site can happen the very first time or the 100th time that you get Botox. So the number one side effect, the number one complaint that people experience is panic attacks and generalized anxiety. So panic attacks can, be debilitating, obviously, and they can become, they can happen within a short period of time of your injections, or it could potentially have a delayed response. So when we are getting Botox, it's advised to not exercise, and there's maybe a few other things that I was told to not do. However, if you are getting a massage, if you're getting a chiropractic adjustment, if even you're doing, certain exercise, you could potentially increase the risk of the toxin spread. And you may feel an acute episode, or you may experience more subtle, low-lying side effects or symptoms. So it can be tricky to initially discern. Not for everybody, though. I certainly know of people who this smacked them in their face and stopped them in their tracks, and they immediately had to go to the emergency room. So what could happen, aside from panic attacks and anxiety, are quite a long list of different side effects. So could be depression, suicidal ideation, depersonalization, loss of emotion, confusion, irritability, neurological effects, brain fog, experiencing electrical sensations in the head or the brain or other areas of the body, sudden feelings of fainting, low blood pressure. Also, temporary paralysis, sometimes in the face or where the injection was given, sometimes not. Stroke in the worst, stroke and heart attack in the worst possible scenarios. Blurred vision, vision loss, dry mouth, involuntary muscular twitches, stiffness in the jaw, in the neck, feeling this aching stiffness, headaches, numbness, body shaking, internal shaking, physical shaking of the body, loud ringing in the ears, also vertigo, potentially affecting the bowels and the digestive system, tightness and this feeling of pressure in your head, nausea, even other stomach upset, also shortness of breath I've talked about, as well as hormonal issues, dry skin, sleep issues, including insomnia, just poor sleep quality, nerve pain, hormone imbalances, and thyroid dysfunction. We'll speak more about that specifically in another video of a research study that shows the specific constitution of the Botox and how it actually can mimic our thyroid cells. So more to come on that aspect. But yeah, nerve pain, I already said that, I think. Oh, adrenal dysfunction. Hello, that's what I definitely experienced, and in addition to many of these other things. Sensitivities to kind of everything. It's like I described my symptoms and the way that I felt for quite some time as I felt like a giant nerve ending. Everything was like causing my nervous system to go into overdrive. Sounds, light, food, chemical sensitivities, everything was just on overdrive. So I wanted to specifically take a few minutes and talk about those side effects because, again, I would venture to say that some people may be experiencing some of these, maybe even just the panic and anxiety, and not at all making the correlation that this is from Botox. So worth definitely mentioning here. So the last and third thing I would like to say for this video is that if this does occur to you, there is nothing that you can take or really do to reverse it. If the poison actually is absorbed in a systemic way, you will have to just basically deal with the symptoms. I thought, so silly, really, but I thought that, oh, I might get food poisoning because I thought of botulism as food poisoning. And I was like, oh, I'll have some stomach upset. That'll be the worst of it. Yeah, well, this is absolutely a much more extreme type of poisoning in the body. Botulinum is the most lethal neurotoxin on the planet. And the dosage is so minuscule that you get that it cannot be detected in your blood. So you will not be able to directly correlate and test for this potential poisoning and this spread. It will be something that you will have to formulate, through your own body wisdom and understanding as to what's going on. I shared in the first video of my specific story that I went to many doctors. I went and took a lot of different tests, like very detailed tests, trying to get to the bottom of what was going on. And the only thing that was showing up were certain symptoms, like I said, like the adrenal symptoms. And there was nothing that could be done. The only antidote to botulism is something that is only reserved for like an outbreak of like a chemical, or a warfare situation. It's not given to people who are injecting with the Botox. So unfortunately, there is really no way to reverse the poisoning. The only thing that can be done is just to treat the symptoms and try to help the body to detox. So, but you have to be so careful and gentle because your body is literally going through a massive immune response. So I am not a doctor. I want to say that this is information that I have researched and learned, and I wanted to share this. I absolutely encourage you to use your own intuition, discernment, research, your own, getting in touch with your own body, of course, is absolutely the right thing to do. Seeking out your own medical attention as needed. But I felt like this information needed to be shared, and I wanted to put this video out there to offer more information. So I'll continue to keep the conversation open, and definitely feel free to leave me a comment if this has have you ever suspected that Botox has caused a health issue for you? Are you certain that you've ever experienced this? And I look forward to connecting with you guys again in the next installment of a video.